Hi, my name is Michael Graney and welcome to another Lightbulb Moment. Today we're going to be talking about the top electrical works to consider or think about when you're doing renovations around your home. So when you're doing renovations, it's a great opportunity to really think about the future with regards to your electrical works, and it's never a better time to make sure you've got enough power outlets throughout your home, make sure you've got the right lighting in the right places. And one thing that is often overlooked is thinking about the outside. What's going to happen with your outdoor areas, your patios, your verandas, around your pool, lighting in your gardens, and even security lights and things throughout the outdoor area that help make your home safer, but also way more convenient for those times when you wish you'd put a power outlet when you're outside doing some water blasting and you've got to run an extension cord through the house. And you're thinking, man, I wish I just put that power outlet out there. It would have been so much easier when we were renovating. Often we're called to homes because people want to add more power outlets or more lights to their home, and places that are often overlooked are kitchens, offices, media rooms, or places where they want to put a TV. I always recommend to have a couple of options when you're wiring your home for your TV. Well, we're going to have our TV here, we could have it over here as well, or let's wire for both of those options so it's you don't have to get an electrician back later on when it's going to be a lot harder, a lot more expensive to get those cables through. So just considering those things when you're either building or renovating to make sure we get all those power outlets in the right places at the right time. There's always a playoff though with power outlets. Some people don't like the look of them, but there is ways of making sure that you've got provision for power outlets without actually putting those power outlets on the wall to start off with. My wife personally does not like the look of a power outlet, so she always has plants or something to hide power outlets throughout the home. But there are ways of having provision so that for the future, so that we can know there's a cable in that wall ready there. If you want to put a power outlet there, we can easily add one in later. So with regards to your lighting throughout your home, if you're doing renovations, obviously that's going to be the best time to be adding lights in the right places. Lighting is a little bit more easier than your power outlets to add something later. If you have a two-story home, however, that can be a lot more difficult to add into that lower story. So if you're doing renovations on a two-story home, I highly recommend getting everything in that you can even for future provision, so that if you want to add something in the future, you know you've provided for that and it's ready to go. The most overlooked area when doing renovations is often the outdoor area when it comes to electrical works. We live in a beautiful climate here. We love to be outdoors, and the evenings are just stunning to be sitting outside and enjoying the warmer weather. And we have beautiful patios and verandas, and everyone spends a lot of money creating these really beautiful spaces, but often the electrical side is overlooked. I recently bought a home, has a beautiful pool area and a patio and veranda and pergola, and it's all really nice. However, when they did it, they obviously spent a lot of money to do all that, but they forgot the electrical, and so there were no power outlets out there, no lighting. And so luckily I'm able to do that stuff, but it would have been a lot easier if it was all done when it was being built, when it was being designed. And so that's just something to consider. If you've got nice gardens that you want to have some lighting in, if you're doing those gardens, you've got a landscaper doing some design work, why not think about the electrical as well? Come and see us. We would love to help you with the design of that, talk about lighting, what sort of lighting, what aesthetics you're trying to create in your outdoor area, and how we can provide for that, even if it's just future provision, just to consider while you're doing your renovations. So something to consider when you're doing renovations is you've got two aspects with your electrical works. You've got the functionality, the convenience of having power outlets in the right places, and also the aesthetics, which is really when you think about lighting and what sort of power outlets you want to have, how you want them to look. And there's lots of different options there with your brands and their power outlet colours and all sorts of things to consider there. But I think a really big one that is often overlooked is the convenience of having like a weatherproof outlet in that outdoor area, where if you want a gurney or water blast, you can just plug that straight in there and not having to run an extension cord through the house. So considering the convenience of just having a power outlet next to your pool area where you're able to plug in to charge your phone or charge your iPad, or plug in a stereo or a speaker so that you can have some music out there. Just considering the convenience of having power outlets in those outdoor areas is really important. Yeah, so if you're considering renovating or you're currently about to undergo a renovation, we would love to help you out. Even if you just need some advice about what could we do outside and just providing some future provision for those areas, feel free to contact us. Friendly team here would love to help, give you some advice, have a chat, and see what we can do for you.